Step 1, wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause of sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
What's up, dude?
Deacon and I can see each other while that video is playing, and so like it covers the whole screen, but Deacon and I can see each other. So I bop around. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have a good morning. I mean, I woke up this morning so rough. Like I stayed up too late last night watching watching the
She-Hulk?
game. No, man, I'm on point on She-Hulk. It comes out on Thursday. I watch it by 6:30 in the morning on Thursday. Oh, I'm watching it right away.
My bad.
Praying that you'll watch it so that we could be like, isn't it great? And
Dude,
so
I
you're like, I'm not watching it.
almost watched it this weekend because I watched Andor, and I was sitting there.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I saw it over on the side, and I was like, ooh, hard to watch.
We can talk about Andor. Andor's on topic this because we're gonna talk about space stuff and Star Wars stuff this morning.
I heard we can because I heard one of the Disney liners, one of the big voice guys was like, the most exciting Star Wars series yet. You know, critics claim it's the most exciting Star Wars start yet. And I was like, what? Because I fell asleep in the third episode.
Dude, I'm going to say, I told you the other day, I watched the first one and it's kind of a slow burn. Well, let me tell you, I watched the other two and I forgot I was watching them. I was like, oh, is that the third episode already? It's already over.
It's okay.
It's
all right. It's
let me
exciting start yet.
Let me starkly contrast to House. What is it? Game of Thrones, House of Dragons. I'm also current on that. I know you haven't seen it. That show is riveting. And like every single episode, they're just like, we're just gonna skip some time and like stuff is happening. And every single episode, you're like, oh Oh, okay. All right.
That's something else about Andor. I know we said we was going to talk about this later. Let's just talk about this crap.
Yeah,
now.
sure.
That's something else about Andor that I might be completely just off on. Is it going back in time, showing him as a little boy?
I think so. That was my impression.
When that spacecraft lands, crashes, and
they got the people with the stick.
They called him Cass, or they called him Ian, or something like that. That I was like, oh, that could have been Cassian nickname. And then that's what I got. I was like, okay, this is going back in time. Let me tell you the problem with this, because this is not the first show that does this. Tell us you're going back in time. Change the color hue a little bit, or put some letters at the bottom that says 20 years earlier, or some crap. Give us a clue that we're going back in time in the story. Take the color hue off a little bit, make it a little grayer or something. God, it took me like the second episode, because at first I was like, okay, this has got to be back in time. You kind of assume that. And then you're kind of like, okay.
Oh, well, their clue is that, like, oh, you're in Star Wars space future, right? Oh, well, here's a different part of space future that's more primitive because they're walking around with sticks.
Yeah.
Like, your whole clue is like, oh, they're using pipes to whack things. That's your clue that it's in the past. Yeah. No, you're right. Your criticism is totally on point there, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that was silly. Like, okay, but why can't I never understood why screenwriters and stuff like that. There's 2 or 3 times in movies and stuff that I have been like, it would have taken 8 seconds. It would have taken one sentence of dialogue to explain something. It would have taken one little thing to kind of make this a little better. But I mean,
so here's it. So I don't want to be just like, I don't want to just piss all over it because, it's not really that bad. But like, first of all, there's like, what's the point of this whole show? Because we already saw what happens to the entire cast. Like, we know what happens to Cassian, and that's the star character. Like, he dies. So like, nothing's going to change that. So I'm not, and is the origin of poor little Cassian like so riveting that we need to go back and tease out that he was like adopted from some primitive tribe or something? Like, I mean, I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't either.
I don't know what's going on. I mean, honestly, don't know. I literally watched the first episode and I was like, this is kind of slow, but okay. And then I played 2 episodes this weekend. I played 2 episodes and I was like, I'm going to play Andor and I'm going to do something on my computer. Guess which one I paid attention to?
Your computer. Because I was sitting there farting around on my phone as I was watching Andor, and I had to end up rewinding the damn thing like twice because I'm like, I don't have a clue what's going on here. Who are these people in the blue suits?
Yeah.
In these blue uniforms. Who are these people?
Yeah,
why are they in Empire all of a sudden?
Yeah, they're Prio Nat Max or some garbage like that.
Yeah,
and they're basically like,
I'm not gonna understand that. Yeah,
they are. It is some mining outfit that has business police authority on this little planet or whatever.
Oh, and it's that shit's rife through the Star Wars universe, though. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that's.
But it's
we saw that a little bit.
Remember in the Phantom Menace, and there were corporate planets.
All the banking plan and all that
blockades.
Crap took over with the Trade
that was
Federation.
Riveting.
But remember with the Book of Boba Fett, the Pike Syndicate was coming through, and they were spice traders. Remember they were taking through that whole town. So yeah, it's kind of. I mean, it was just slow. Okay. It was just slow. If they've got a good story in store, great. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to watch it. It was just really. It did not keep my attention. It just didn't keep my attention.
From the fiscal and economic side of things, right? Like if you're pitching a series, okay, I have an idea for a story, but it has to be big enough to warrant a series grant because we're going to have to build sets and do all this, development and do all this tech to do volume filming or whatever. So we can't do just a 4-hour miniseries. And this thing needs to be like a 10-episode thing. It needs to be big enough to justify the experience. Oh, okay, we'll just pad in some stuff. Guess what? Nobody wants to watch the pad stuff, dude. We want like awesome and fast and like exciting. We want something that is like gripping and then like lets you go. And then you're like, oh, wow, that was amazing. That's what we want. We do not want to slog through 10 episodes of like, oh, you remember that one time I stubbed my toe? That was awful, wasn't it? Let me tell you about this time when I was 12 and I stubbed my toe. Like, no, man, come on. I don't want to.
I mean, I'm kind of hoping that it picks back up for some reason, but you're right. They've greenlit this show to tell this story so far. With the first 3 episodes, it almost seems like it's just a money grab because some unknown guy kills a couple of freaking unknown mining workers.
Oh no, some dirty thugs got killed.
And then we're turning the fucking mining corporation upside down and sending 3 ships and troops of 15 security workers to look for one guy that killed 2 random mining workers. I'm hoping that maybe the story turns out and it's like, oh, well, that mining worker was the son of Prince Darien of the planet, you know, some bullshit. But right now it's kind of like, next,
I will say
cartoons doing from the 90s. I forgot. You know, see what else is on Disney Plus.
I do like the principal antagonist, the guy that like takes his job super seriously. The young guy is like,
I used to work with him.
I am indignant that someone would have attacked our troops and you're not taking this seriously enough. I put extra pipping on my sleeves. I like that guy. That guy's hilarious.
Oh yeah, he's hilarious. It's just kind of like
oh wow, dude, you are taking this shitty job at the back end of the universe super seriously.
It's almost like it's a caricature.
Yeah, but at least he's drawn. You know what though? I don't know his name. I don't know anybody's name. Do you know any of the characters' names?
Cassian Andor, and that's
it. That's it. Cassian. I know Cassian's name and nobody else. Yeah. There's like old lady that clearly is his adopted mom, and there's like a bunch of people that he's screwed over borrowing money from. Let me say this though about Cassian. So in the movie Rogue One, it is clear that Cassian is like some sort of a spy with a troubled background, a troubled history.
Yeah,
you know? He's done some bad things.
Okay, this is how my warped nerdy brain looks at stuff like this. I played the Star Wars role-playing game. For a long time, we played the Star Wars role-playing game, and there's different classes of the heroes and villains. And he would be what they call a scoundrel. He's like a rogue in Dungeons and Dragons. He's, you know, I don't have to explain what a rogue is. He would be the scoundrel. Yeah, like Han Solo. The Han Solo would be a scoundrel.
A person who maybe is morally questionable, but ultimately will do.
In comics, we call them the anti-hero.
Yeah.
In comics, they're called the anti-hero.
So in the movie, he's framed as being this scoundrel, a person who's doing something good for the resistance, but definitely has a checkered past.
Right.
And in the first episode, ostensibly, we saw the checker. And I'm just like, you guys, if you guys want to like really sell this, we need some more checkers. I need to see this dude do some bad stuff.
Hang on, he did do some bad stuff. If you look at it and think about it, what did he do? He straight up murdered that guy.
Yeah,
he straight up murdered him. He didn't.
Yeah,
it wasn't an accidental killing. The first one was an accidental killing. The second one was a murder. It wasn't premeditated, but it was. Oh shit! You're going to tell on me. I'm going to get in trouble. Bam.
You're right. But that, you know what that wasn't? That wasn't a murder of malice or intent or agency.
Right.
That was an, oh shit, I'm backed into a corner. I don't have anything else I can do.
Right.
Pew, pew. Right. That was not something that was not something for which I would credit the character with like taking agency and doing something. It was more like somebody caught me with my pants down. You know, fear. That was fear.
Right. It was fear, and it was morally, was it a wrong choice? And in our society that we live in today, it was a morally wrong choice. But in the society of that, I guess it is, since he's being hunted down. You know,
dude, in the first Star Wars movie, Luke Skywalker goes into a bar and like somebody cuts an arm off.
Yeah.
And everybody else in the bar is like,
Obi-Wan
that asshole had it coming.
Yeah. So, I mean, Han Solo shot Greedo in there, and they just kind of stopped playing.
And people are like, "Can I get a refill?" So,
Yeah.
like,
So,
I mean, you're gonna have to. All I'm saying is, if that's his checkered past, I'm gonna have to see some more checkers because that's not good enough. That's all.
the lieutenant running the chase for Cassidy is the only compelling actor. The irony that he's so adamant
Yes.
of justice and doing what's right is that he works for the freaking Empire.
Well,
Hey,
Empire adjacent. He's an Empire subcontractor.
yeah, subcontractor. It looks like.
Mm.
So you know that crap was going on. You know that crap was going on because Cassian, he is this point in the Star Wars is probably about well, I don't know. I mean, but it's before A New Hope. It's got to be a couple of years before A New Hope. So the Death Star is being built or is built and is being
Yes.
completed. You know, the finishing
Right.
touches are being put on because that first one was fully operational. It was
Right.
completely complete.
Well, it has to be before Rogue One, obviously.
Yeah, yeah,
So
well,
yeah,
obviously, yeah.
we don't know. This could be 5 years. I don't know what the
So
time
there's
is.
what
It
I
could
was
be
gonna ask.
5
There's
years
like
before. It could be
subcontract.
like
There's definitely subcontractors working. Hey, we've got a crap ton of news, so let's quit talking about Andor.
yeah. I want to acknowledge Manuel. I got your tag. I saw the video link. I didn't. I got it late last night. I haven't watched it yet. I'm gonna watch your thing about pyramids or uh oh, I'll check it out. I'll check it out. Okay. I will for sure. All right. Deacon split for a second. Anyway, so we've both watched Andor. Guys, if you've seen Andor, are you on it? You like it? Are you waiting for more? Are you a little underwhelmed? Is it underwhelming and yet the best Star Wars TV show that Disney has made? Might be. Might be. Okay. I do want to say this on the on the topic of Star Wars. Uh, our beloved, the fatherly voice to you and me and our entire generation, James Earl Jones, has signed over the Darth Vader voice rights, and he's retiring from Star Wars. He has signed over the rights to his voice to this company in Ukraine
I
that
thought that
uses
he.
AI and samples, and then they will be able
Oh,
to faithfully replicate his voice using, typing, and they'll be able to say stuff like, "Oh, Leia, I didn't realize you were just so awesome and you were really the hero," and it'll sound like James Earl Jones, right? It'll be able to have Darth Vader like voice pump up all these female characters and be like, "I should have learned from you," something like that. But you're gonna get that baritone, resounding James Earl Jones voice in future Darth Vader iterations, powered entirely by AI, which is kind of appropriate for the character. Did you see anything about this, Deacon?
I saw that he was retiring the rights and whatnot, which is it's no one should be surprised about this. The man is how old? In his late 80s?
He's done. I mean, he's been doing stuff forever.
Yes, he's not going to be around forever. And I honestly thought that during Darth Vader has been voiced by other people since. He is not always voiced by James Earl Jones.
Right.
And I know I don't know if Hayden Christensen did any of his voices while the voice behind the mask,
I
but
don't think
he
so.
was, of
But
course, he was
really
Darth Vader
did body
before.
work.
But yeah, I think you're right on that. But I really thought that during it wasn't Clone Wars, it was Resistance. And I don't remember. I think he was on Rebels. I really thought that there was a different voice for Darth Vader on this. I'm looking through right now and I don't see. I see a
Well,
bunch of
I'm
them. And the only
personally
thing I
just
did is
so excited to get
I'm
humans totally out of this acting business. We can
well,
just
see,
we can save a bunch of money and we can just
well,
like
I don't
take
no,
humans out.
I don't think you're right. Because I'm a voice actor. I love this crap. I love voice acting. I pay
Right.
attention to the nuances and stuff like that these people do, and I pick up on certain people, and that's why I thought, I watch these shows and I'm like, wait a minute, that's not James Earl Jones. You know, I'm Ashley. It pisses Ashley off because
Wow.
I'm that guy that'll be like, "Is that
Did
Paul F.
you watch?
Tompkins? Is that Paul F.
Yeah.
Tompkins doing that voice?" And she's like, "Who's that?" I'm like, "He's a comedian. Hang on, that's him." I
Yeah,
know.
he's amazing. He what's that? They have this like audio podcast or audio show that they did for anyway.
He's
I can't
great. I
remember the name
love
of it.
Paul F.
He's
Tompkins.
amazing. I love that guy. Anytime that guy's on camera, it's just like this guy is fun. Did you watch the Mandalorian season 2 or whatever it was where they had Luke Skywalker come back and you had Luke Skywalker's voice?
Yeah, yeah.
That was not Luke Skywalker. That was not Mark Hamill.
That
That was
was
a robot. That was
Oh,
not
really?
Mark Hamill. Yes.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Fool me.
This thing can do tone.
Oh, the
It can
AI?
do
Yeah, the AI.
yes.
Fool you. Absolutely.
It was the same. So it's the
Absolutely.
same company or the same process. I don't know if this is the same company, but so that basically the AI can sample you have this 50 years of James Earl Jones talking,
Yeah.
and you know
Yeah.
how much media. So it can sample all of this stuff. It can synthesize his voice, and
Well,
then
who
you can
else did they
literally
do
say
that to?
anything.
They did it to somebody not too long ago
Oh
that
yeah,
passed
no.
away.
Remember, it was you didn't see the movie Top Gun Maverick. They did it with Val Kilmer's voice.
Oh, that's
Val
right.
Kilmer's
Val
voice
Kilmer's voice. Yeah.
which you haven't heard yet.
Yeah.
His voice
I
is
watched part of that
entirely
documentary. I had to stop it, but
Mm.
I watched part of it. I love Val Kilmer. I love Val
Yeah.
Kilmer. He was one of the actors from our youth that we grew up with. He was in everything.
I loved him in his early work, and then you know, around the era of The Saint, I was like,
that's
I don't care. I don't care. But you know what? In retrospect, I was wrong. Because Val Kilmer has been an interesting dude his whole life.
Uh-huh.
He is and then that documentary like really highlights it because like he really cared about his family, his
Mhm.
mom, deeply connected to his family and his roots. I think he lives in Arizona maybe or something like that. Very deeply connected. He's very deeply connected to like Native American stuff or whatever in his community.
Yeah.
So like he's a very interesting dude, and it's regrettable that he, you know, had a physical deterioration, but this happens to all of us, you know.
Yeah, we get old. Man. That's what happens.
Although my wife says that I look the same as when we got married. It's very complimentary of my wife.
I look the exact same as I did 20 years ago too.
And I'm like, do you see these white hairs? It might be in my beard. Pardon my voice, guys. I've had yeah, look at that.
That's another thing that happens when you get old. You constantly listen to we always go
well, I woke up with like, you know, sinuses or whatever, and I just
Have you ever seen that that Family Guy clip where Peter's like, I think I'll just sit here and make dad noises, and he's like we watched that one day. We had that on one day, and Deacon was sitting there, and Deacon started giggling and laughing his butt off. And I just kind of looked at him. I was like, why are you laughing so hard at that? He's like, because you make all those noises.
Well, okay. I just want to say congratulations to James Earl Jones. He got a big payout. He gets probably royalties or paid or something, you know, for the rest of his life.
Sure I'm sure he needed that money really bad.
And we all get to hear Darth Vader, and it's going to sound right. I mean, I think it's a win-win. And even if he doesn't get royalties, he just got a payout. Disney just got like the best investment for the character ever because they can walk around with a puppet on a stick and have it sound like James Earl Jones.
You're exactly right. That's a great move for that character. If that character now always has the same voice, it's like Kermit the Frog, for instance. Kermit the Frog was voiced by Jim Henson for years, and luckily we got Jim Henson's son doing Kermit the Frog now. So there's there's not that much.
But how long?
But when Frank Oz dies, Yoda, Miss Piggy, all these are gonna. I always thought I couldn't listen to Miss Piggy without hearing Yoda every time. Every time Miss Piggy says something, I'm like, oh, that's a excited Yoda is all that is, because it's all.
Well,
Frank.
I mean, eventually we're gonna have this for Optimus Prime.
Yeah,
you know,
Peter Cullen.
Like all of these, and it's gonna be like new voice talent trying to break into the market. Be like, I have to compete with a calculator.
The processing on Peter Cullen's voice. He had the best processing.
in a world. All right. All right. So now I want to let's stay in space, but we're gonna leave science fantasy over there. Deacon, the United States of America, the American taxpayers have spent millions of dollars to attack a rock in space. And we are going to slam a spaceship into a rock today.
Okay.
Today.
I'm okay with this.
NASA says spacecraft on track to slam into an asteroid in hopes of redirecting it. This is from justthenews.com, but I got NASA webpage here in just a moment. This week, NASA said a small spacecraft it launched last year is on track to slam into a nearby asteroid in what scientists hope will be the first successful test of asteroid redirection technology. We are going to deep space this thing. We're going to Armageddon this thing. You saw Armageddon. In Armageddon, we flew a spaceship up there and we put a nuclear bomb on it. We blew the F out of this thing.
This one is more like a billiards match, right?
Yeah. It's sort of like if you throw a marble at a bowling ball. Dink. Oh, it definitely reduced some energy. Okay. So I get a picture of it here in a second. We'll see what happens. But officials with NASA this week said the first such test of deflection tech looks like it's going to proceed today. The space agency's double asteroid redirection test launched in November last year with the intention of altering the course of near-Earth asteroid Didymos or Didymos or Didymos. I don't know how you pronounce this. So here I have a picture. Check this out. There is a rock in space floating near Earth. Oh, you got something to say? Go ahead. Take it.
I got two questions or two.
Oh yeah. All right.
One, crap. I have to do that because I'll forget my stuff and I still forget.
First question. What was my second question?
That's why I interrupt you sometimes, because if I don't ask the question,
it slips away. It's just gone.
I forget it. Yeah, I'm a moron. The first one, do you think why do you think they are doing this now? Because the technology has reached a point that we can do it now? Or do you think that there is a reason why we need to be testing this now? And two, if there was a legitimate reason for this to be happening, do you think that they would inform us or not? Because most of the time when I see this stuff, because I like to try to keep up with astronomy, most of the time when I see this kind of stuff in the news articles, it's like, hey, we nearly got hit by a meteor yesterday. And it's not like we tell
okay,
hey, we're going to get hit by a meteor. We almost might get hit by a meteor. They don't tell you that stuff ahead of time. So do you think if there was a world-ending event coming, do you think that they would tell us? On that part, I will say I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of telescopes or science data or whatever that's kind of available to civilian scientists. So I don't think you can hide. Okay, you're right. Okay, I'll agree with that.
An object is on course for Earth.
Okay,
and you know what? Here's the cynic in me. I don't think that the government would pass up the opportunity to scare civilians into giving them more power.
Well, you've got a good point.
Hang on one second. You, young lady, it's not time for you to wake up yet. Can you give me a hug? Go on. Ruby, go. Go. Oh, my mic's still on. My dog and my daughter were in here. And my daughter's supposed to go back to bed. And my dog was like,
I love listening.
You wanted to pet me? You want to pet me? No, get away from me.
Yeah, you got to. Come on.
So the cynic in me says the government would not pass the opportunity to be like, oh, we need to have a little bit more power of your life so that we can divert this asteroid. So they would totally tell you about it to scare you, I think.
Okay. All right.
But I'm so
I don't disagree.
So here's now this kind of a project is something that you could probably get funding for, because they're like, look, it's not going to be that much. We're going to spend a couple $1 million on this thing and we're going to slam it into a rock. It's going to look great. Everybody's going to be like, it's something you can see that you did. Maybe we'll need to use it someday to knock something out of the sky. I don't know.
If it changes its trajectory by the most minute amount, that's still knowledge that we assumed, But now that we have actually tested and know that it works, we pretty much knew that it would work this way, but maybe it don't. But if it does, we have figured out, okay, if we do see something, if we can catch it long enough, if we can only move it by the most minute amount, well, that makes a difference if we can catch it far enough back. You
Right.
know, that minute
Right.
amount
Yeah,
makes a
yeah.
difference.
You can shift it by a fraction of a degree, and then it misses
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, so,
All right. Well,
maybe this is learning something. I'm all about space
so
exploration. We're nothing when it comes to the universe.
so just from the headline, you get this like sensational idea that we're gonna slam into something to blow up, right? And that's not what's gonna happen.
No, it's just
Wha-
it's like
it's
I'm
gonna
catching
be a
black
lot more
hole
like
balls.
this. You're gonna have a rock. This asteroid currently orbits this larger asteroid, and these two as a pair are a near Earth object. So they're out there and they're moving, as a single
Towards
body
Earth.
mass. These
Yes.
two things, one orbits the other, but they together move through space as one mass. And we're gonna I guess we have like a little camera here or something to watch it. And then we have the dart that's just accelerating to whatever thing. It's going to hit the little asteroid,
Yeah,
and it's
because
going to add,
that one's going around. You can
it's
see the
going
circle.
counterclockwise on the
Yeah.
white track. And then it's going to add energy to basically slow the trajectory because that amount of energy added will slow the velocity. And then because it has a lower velocity, the gravity of the other object will pull it in slightly closer, and it'll attain a new orbit, which is the blue orbit. And
So what if
ultimately, huh?
I'm writing a Star Trek episode in my mind right now, so go ahead.
So ultimately, these two bodies moving through space, like these two things, so one's going to have a little bit narrow orbit than before, and those two bodies are going to move through space on exactly the same path that they already were. They're not going to change. Changing the orbit of these two bodies in mass
Do
from
you think
one
that
another is one thing, but as they move through the universe, they're moving
you
on the
don't
same path because it's the same mass.
you're right, but you don't think that the tighter orbit will cause the trajectory to change at all?
No,
That
I mean
tighter
of
orbit
this
will change.
object, but of
Yeah.
the two objects together, no, I
You
don't
don't
think
think
so.
the new mass of the objects with the tighter orbit would cause
Right.
it to move
I
off its
mean,
trajectory a little bit? I would think that
this
it would cause the mass to move a little
so
bit.
these two this little thing here is going to be like like relative to the rest of this here, it's going to be an addition of mass of like a
That
fraction of a percent. It's going to be
that's
like
not what I
nothing.
mean. That's not what I meant, but I
Well,
understand
no,
what you're saying.
see the way that these two bodies move in space together, orbiting one another but moving through space together, the center of gravity is at like it's at a certain calculated point,
Right,
but their total mass is not changed. So the center of gravity
right.
of the two objects will shift very slightly,
Okay, well,
which will still be inside of this
you
thing.
don't think that the center of gravity of this will change
Yeah.
the trajectory by a little bit?
I mean, no, I don't think so. I don't think
Oh,
so.
I
Because
don't know.
I mean,
Just asking.
maybe if you hit this thing, you might be able to get it to move a little bit, but even that, probably not.
I would think
Now,
that
they are going to.
changing that orbit and making that orbit tighter would cause it. Hang on, I gotta talk real quick.
I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think it's going to have any effect in terms. Not a. I don't think it'll change the orbit of the two things through the solar system. It looks like that's a telescope, and this looks like it's a. It looks like it's a picture of the satellite and aiming at this. This is the little asteroid, and so it's massive. So I don't know. Okay. Anyway, it's kind of cool. We'll see what happens. That is going to happen tonight at 7. I think it's 7:15. Let me see. Did they have the time on here? I had the time on one of these stories. Anyway, I think it's happening tonight around 7 p.m., 7:15. You can go out tonight in the evening and stare up at the skies with your with your home telescope and not see any of this, but you can imagine that you see it. And then later you can check on the internet and you can see like pictures of it. Maybe oh, here it is right here. The DART impact will happen tonight at 7:14 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. So that's 6:14 if you're on the East Coast, and it's like 9:14. No, it's 8:14 if you're on. Never mind, it's Eastern Daylight Savings Time. So that'll be 6:15 tonight and Central Time, and then like 3:15 this afternoon. So basically, it's going to happen later today. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. We're going to hit a rock with a spaceship. Amazing.
That rock is going to go into the left corner pocket.
Yeah, yeah, and they're going to be like, "We did it! We did it! We hit a rock."
I saw this story, and this guy's my hero.
Oh, this guy right here.
There is someone. There is someone when he passes away. I've said that I will do this.
Oh my gosh! Really?
Not every day. Not every day, but I'm going to do it once because I hate. I
just want to get. I want to get Pierre off of the screen there. All right.
Thank you.
So, no segue here, other than somebody's getting his. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I don't have a segue for this. New York Post posted this weekend, and I was like, "Oh my god, man with a 48-year grudge caught peeing on his ex-wife's grave every day by her children." So, her kids caught him doing this every day. A man with an apparent 48-year-old grudge has been going every morning to urinate on the grave of his ex-wife or ex-girlfriend, much to the horror of her furious kids, who realized something was wrong when they discovered bags of poop left at her mom's final resting place. He gave himself away. He pooped in a bag.
That's taking he could have remained anonymous. He was pissed.
Yeah, really.
Maybe got caught, but
I felt like getting. And here's the thing: I don't think anything's that happened to this guy. I felt like getting out and killing him," said Michael Andrew Murphy, 43. He told the Post of what it was like to catch the man he says has been desecrating the burial site of his mom, Linda Torello. Torello, who was 66, died of cancer in 2017. That was like 5 years ago, right? 5 years ago, and is buried just over the state line in the cemetery of Tapan Reformed Church in Orangetown, New York. Murphy and his sister noticed a plastic bag of poop on their mother's grave in April and thought it was left by some dog walker by mistake, but then it happened again. The siblings called the cops, who took the report, and then the pair got permission from the cemetery manager to place trail cameras in the area to see if they could catch the bad guy. And when they checked the footage, they spotted this disgusting dude right here, briefly married to Torello in the 1970s. He was married to her like almost 50 years ago. The footage was too blurry and grainy to take to authorities. So a week ago, Murphy and his sister got up at 5 a.m. and waited to watch this dude. Murphy said the video and pictures he and his sister got indicated the man drove to the cemetery every morning between 6:14 and 6:18 in the morning with his current wife. He got out of the car, walked over to Torello's grave, and peed on it. This quote, "I can't get my wife to go to dinner, but this guy gets his wife to go along with it, desecrate my mom's remains every morning." Can you imagine the fury?
Wait a minute.
Fury you would have.
Wait a minute, though. We're missing one major, huge point here.
Sure.
Okay. The New York Post is missing one major point that maybe we haven't got to yet. If we do, they're fucking leading it up to us on this long ass game.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
It doesn't look like it. Did anyone stop to ask the man why the hell he's doing this? What that woman did to him to scorn him so bad that he would want to get up and piss on her grave at the same time every single morning?
I don't see that they have gotten a quote from this dude.
What would someone have to do to you to make you get up every morning for 5 years and drive to piss on a grave at the same time within a 4-minute period every day?
I mean,
what
that's dedication.
Would cause you to do that? It would have to be something enormous.
It would have to be, because I don't hold on to grudges. Like, I let go of things like real fast. So it wouldn't be possible.
I hold on to grudges for a long freaking time. Long time. And if I don't get a sincere, if I don't feel like anything
vindicated.
it's sincere, since sincerity has been indicated, and then I've written you off. So there is one individual that I've said a multitude of times that when he passes away, I'm going to piss on his grave. I'm not going to go every day, but I will piss on his grave one time because this sumbitch done me wrong and he doesn't care. And so I just, I will
like
on his grave.
But he gets like, you know that's bad, right? Like it's bad because he's got agency and power over you right now.
I don't know.
Got you mad and he don't care.
I'm really just not mad about it. I'm not mad. I feel like I will get my just desserts that I feel I need. And other people might not feel like that they would be satisfied with that, but I will feel like I've been. Does that make me petty? Absolutely.
Well, listen,
absolutely,
I mean, everybody's got their vices and weaknesses.
I am not a perfect person and never claimed
I am not saying that you should be behaving differently because it's good. I'm saying it's bad for you. Like you're gonna give yourself stress and
but I don't hold on to it.
It's unhealthy
that's kind of
for
funny
you.
to say. I guess I do hold on to it, but I'm not like I don't dwell on it. Let me say that.
Yeah,
I don't dwell on it. We're just talking about this, and I'm like,
yeah, sure.
Oh, that's right.
Well, it occurred to you.
Said I was going to do that. I'm not going to like if I see his name come up in the obituary, I'd be like, oh,
I don't know.
Because we're all going to die.
We don't know this guy's name even to be able to look and see what he did. So I don't know what he. I don't know what he did.
What did the woman do to him to cause him? His ex-wife do to him to cause him? Because did she like freaking? I'm not going to get into.
And they don't even name him, so they don't name him. So we don't know who this dude is or what he's done.
Fluff piece to make you feel sorry for this, but to be honest, the woman probably treated him like shit. And when you find out what she did to him, that you would be,
I can see what you're doing. You may be trying to rationalize like why this would happen to him, but like for the moment, I'm going to err on the side of the family of the woman that's in the ground versus the guy that's leaving poop on a gravesite. Cause I really don't think there's any call for pooping on a grave. But so until further information comes in, I'm going to say this guy's evidently in the wrong. And this dude right here. Look at what.
Sorry. It doesn't matter what someone did. He's just filled with hate. It doesn't mean two shits, man. It doesn't mean that he's filled with hate. It does matter what someone did. All right. And that what someone did cause you hate. Someone can poke at you every fucking day on the internet for 3 months and cause you to flip out. Does that mean that you're full of hate? No, that means that some asshole has bothered you for so damn long that it's caused you to change your freaking attitude. So does that mean that that's your problem? Does that mean that you're not a Christian or what? I don't quote Bible context to me all day long if you want to, buddy. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm switching off.
All right.
I decided to look at the fucking chat again today. And I'm fucking regretting it. So I'm switching it off. So I'm not going to look at this stupid shit anymore.
All right. So, anyway, I find this thing distasteful. This guy, this is embarrassing for him. Well, I would think. But maybe he don't care.
If it was me, I wouldn't give a shit. Maybe that doesn't make me Christian or whatever the fucking Bible says. Maybe that doesn't make me a Christian. I don't care about that either then. Okay? Because in this point, the people that are representing Christianity in America, I don't want to be associated with them. So I'm fine if you don't want to call me a Christian because I don't want to associate with those people. That's not how I think.
All right. Deacon needs a breather. Deacon needs a breather. All right. Man. So let's talk about something that'll make you happy, I'm sure.
All the damn time.
John Cena.
This one's positive. I tried to start out the day positive. I was dancing to the damn song this morning.
We're talking about space rocks and stuff. It was great. It was all good. I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna take blame. I'm gonna take ownership of this for bringing up the pee on grave guy. That was not cool.
I thought it was cool. I thought it was a funny story though, because when I saw
Yeah, a
you
little bit.
post that, I was like, that's funny because Mike treated me like shit my whole fucking life. And I've always said that when that son of a bitch dies, I'm gonna fucking piss on his grave. You know, why the hell
Yeah.
not? He's been a jerk to me. So I'm just supposed to let
I
it
think
go.
there's.
No, I'm
I
gonna get my
definitely
mouth
think there's
piss
like
on his fucking grave. And if that
worse
makes you
things.
not a
Yeah.
Christian or holding grudges
Yeah.
or whatever, then it does. And I don't give a shit.
Maybe you need a little catharsis. Maybe you need a little bit of like, work out,
Weed.
whatever that is.
I
John
don't
Cena sets a Guinness World Record. The wrestler turned actor has set a new record for the most wishes granted through the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
I don't think.
What
Wait
is
a minute.
going on here?
I don't think everybody should have to. You should talk to someone and work out your problem. That's not everybody. Not every
All right.
human's alike. Some people need to fucking bitch. Some people need to hit something to get it out of their system, and then
No,
they're
it's true.
fine. Not
That's true.
everybody can speak with
That's
a
true.
psychiatrist and make sure that you take your medicine. It doesn't work for me. I need to bitch. I need to spew out my shit from my bottle and let me bitch it out,
Well,
and then
get
I'm
it out.
fine.
Okay.
Sorry, go
I
ahead.
mean,
I love John Cena.
from
I
an
love
effectiveness point of view, like you pee on his grave, he's not even going to know. If you go pee on his yard right now, he might
depends on
find out.
it depends on yeah, he will find out because he got
Piss
cameras
in
all
his
over the
gas
place.
tank.
But
Yeah.
he might find out depending on what you think the afterlife is. We might be watching piss on his
Oh,
fucking
okay.
name. So let's go to John
Like,
Cena.
oh man,
He's great.
yeah.
Love
John
John
Cena is
Cena.
adding another trophy to
Wonderful
his
human
belt. The
being.
wrestler turned actor has granted 650 wishes. Dude, the Peacemaker actor. Did you ever watch Peacemaker? Probably
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
You watched that?
Yeah.
Not the George Clooney one.
No, the John Cena one.
The John Cena one. That's
Yeah,
good. I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
Peacemaker actor is the most requested Make-A-Wish celebrity, with no other star even coming close to granting as many wishes as Cena has in the foundation's decades-long history. He was honored for granting 500 wishes in 2015. I'm gonna say getting to 500, probably not
So in
500
7
alone.
years, he's done 150 more. That's busy, man.
That's very frequent. How many Make-A-Wishes have you granted?
None.
John Cena's amazing. I haven't done any.
Yeah.
You know what? My kids made some wishes this weekend, and I said no.
Don't let your kids watch that movie. It's called Yes Day. It's where the parents have to say yes to whatever the kids say for one day. And my kids watched that movie and was like, "Can we do this?" Don't let them watch that movie. But yeah, John Cena's awesome, man.
Yeah, big ups to this guy. John Cena's been granting wishes since 2002, a few years after he began his career as a wrestler. His popularity as a 16-time world champion soared, so did children's requests for him to grant their wishes. So good on him. Big ups to this guy. Otherwise, I don't really know anything about him, or I think he's not really that tall. I think he's like 5'10". But he's John Cena. I think he's like kind of a little bit shorter of a guy, but he's stacked. He's got muscles on muscles.
Cena wanted to be in the WWF when he was a little kid, man. And then he worked for it and got it. And then you see what kind of person he is. He's just I'm not going to say all. I used to be a huge WWF, WWE fan. Yeah. So I know a little bit about the wrestling and behind the scenes. Most of those guys are nice guys. And they're all friends.
Oh, yeah.
Most of them are friends.
Yeah.
There's some of them that are jerks. I've seen many WCW and WWE, it was WWF back then, but live shows. We used to go to Nashville and Louisville and Lexington and St. Louis to see them. So most of these guys are super, super freaking nice. John Cena to do this, though, I mean, the kids love him. And to go out and do stuff like this, I'm all about that. I had a nephew pass away from neuroblastoma, and he was at St. Jude's for a long time, and he was in a lot of experimental stuff back then, and he got to do a commercial for St. Jude with Robin Williams, and you can see it on YouTube. And Robin Williams was like such a super freaking guy. They said was just, I mean, he just made him laugh the whole time. Just So that the celebrities that do stuff like this, I have the utmost respect for.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's something wrong with John Cena. I'm sure he's an asshole.
Yeah, I mean, you never like there's
Whatever.
there's no good people. There's something
I'm
wrong.
sure there's
But
something wrong with it.
but this is good stuff. I mean, everything I can see evidently is
He had
like
an
good
interview
stuff,
one time
so.
where he said he was a fucking socialist or some shit. I'm sure.
Oh, no. You know what he did? I give you what he did wrong. He apologized in Chinese to China for calling Taiwan a country.
Sure.
So,
Whatever.
he bent over and took it from China so that he could keep his celebrity status or something like that. It was something like that. So
I'm
he was
sure.
talking in Chinese.
Fucking
Yeah,
communist.
whatever. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? I don't care that he did that. Anyway, cool on John Cena. I just thought of a great segue from the previous story to the next one. Because if I was really going to talk about a piece of shit, it'd probably be Nancy Pelosi.
Oh, I didn't get to see this. I was waiting for this because that guy standing next to her looks like Ozzy Osbourne. I think it's a girl standing next to her, but I was like, why is Ozzy Osbourne from 1980 standing next to Nancy Pelosi?
So House Speaker Nancy Pelosi was not warmly received when she made a surprise guest appearance at the Global Citizens Music Festival in Central Park Saturday night.
Have people set up to cheer for her, and she was not accepted?
Yeah. Well, it's in New York. It's in Central Park. It is like, this is as blue as blue gets. As blue as blue gets. And it's Global Citizens Music Festival. I mean, come on, dude. These are as far left as they're going to go. This is her audience. And her audience said, boo. Pelosi, wearing a white pantsuit and matching scarf, appeared to be booed as she took to the stage and spoke briefly. Social media video shows. The House Speaker was discussing climate change and cutting carbon emissions in the speech, and some booing was audible from the start. The video
Maybe
shows.
they were saying, ooh, because they liked her pantsuit. Or maybe
so. Doubt it. I doubt it.
All right,
do you want me to try to play the video? Because I haven't watched the video.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear her get booed?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to reshare this thing. Hang on. Yeah. Hey, we can revisit that subject of pissing on graves since we're talking about Nancy Pelosi.
See, it's not such a bad idea.
All right. Let's see. We're here 15 seconds in.
If you were walking through a cemetery in somewhere in California one day and you're like, is that for real Nancy Pelosi's grave? And you found her grave and you looked around and there's nobody around. Nobody. It's just you. Would you piss on her grave?
Nah.
Would you spit? Would you spit on her grave?
Nah. I'd be
like, you would respect the dead. You would respect.
Look, what are you going to do?
Honestly, if you're going to like not piss on anybody's grave or spit on anybody's grave or walk on anybody's grave, you need to stand the fuck still and not ever move again.
It's not about that. It's more like look, I don't know where anybody's going when they die. I'm pretty sure I know where I'm going, and I have a good idea that this woman does not live in kind with her with the things that she professes. So if I was going to say, is somebody going to hell? I would bet that this woman is going to hell.
Okay.
So like, what is it going to do if you piss on a grave? Bitch is in hell. She can't get any worse. Let's see what happens here. This is 15 seconds in, but so here she was just introduced, right? Or just start up here. Is that too low?
Is that Nancy Pelosi
singing? Why is it singing? Oh my God! Please don't give us a strike. Please don't give us a strike for. Anyway, she was on stage. This is a pointless video. They don't have her getting booed on here at all. Not acceptable. Internet, New York Post.
Look, that's why they're booing, and she's making that gesture. That's the only reason she's making that gesture like that. And Nancy's standing there all like, oh shit.
Yeah. Anyway.
God, I hate that woman.
Yeah, she's a piece of shit. Okay.
I can't believe.
Hey, I didn't put this story in, but I saw the headline over the weekend. Do you know, Deacon, I didn't know this, that 40% of the debt acquired by the United States in its entire history as a country, 40% of all of the debt, and you know we got a lot of debt. We got like $30 trillion in debt.
Couple $1 million is what I heard.
31 trillion is what it's at now. 40% of 31 trillion has been under Nancy Pelosi's watch. Nancy Pelosi is directly responsible for 40% of the United States debt, which, when you want to translate a little bit, that is your future, your children's future poverty, children's future debt, wage slavery for the rest. 40% of that is Nancy Pelosi. So, yep, she's awesome. And by awesome, I mean the worst politician to ever swear an oath for any country. Let's you guys, what do you want to talk about? What do we got left in the queue here? There's Biden stuff, but like, I don't know if we can just do Biden stuff every single day. Oh no, you know what? We got a very important one. Deacon.
Yeah.
This is so important. And he doesn't even know what I'm about to say.
No, I never do.
Yeah, I know. That keeps it spicy. That keeps it spicy.
I used to not like to do that in radio with certain people, because certain people can pull off the reactionary stuff. I had one partner on my classic rock station. I was Andy, he was Andrews. It was Andy and Andrews in the morning. And so he could pull it off really well. So I would introduce the stories to him earlier so that he could go ahead. He had a quick brain, so he could go ahead and start thinking of 2 or 3 jokes so he could pull it off. He could act it like, oh, okay, all right. And so he taught me a lot of ways to kind of do that. So I'm the kind of person that if I know about it, I can pull it off. Like, I like to think that I can pull it off, that I'm like,
hey, that's so far. I think it works so far. I mean,
but you don't share. You post these stories in like a collective forum or a little thread.
Yeah, there's just like a queue of things.
I don't normally go and read every story, but sometimes I do.
Yeah, only the ones that are like super interesting. Or if you're like, hey,
you don't go in order. We don't go in order, so I don't have.
No. There's sophisticated planning goes into this show right here. We're lucky that we have access to the same stories.
Goatee's pissing me off this morning. I'm gonna shave it.
Deacon, I have such bad news for you. You're gonna be crushed. Liz Cheney, the daughter of Deadly Dick Cheney, who will shotgun blast you in the face if you don't agree with him.
With weed or a real gun? With gun. Oh,
yeah. Liz Cheney says she will leave the GOP, the Republican Party, if Donald Trump is the 2024 nominee. You make him the 2024 nominee, I'm out. I'm going to resign my GOP and I'll change parties.
How many hours did you sit on the couch in a fetal position with your pillow after you read the story?
No.
Because I was about 16 hours on the couch.
Don't leave. I was like immediately like, I don't even care if he's the best or worst candidate. Let's just do it now. Let's announce it. Let's announce that he's the candidate, get her to quit, and then we can go and do our primary.
No. If they announce that Donald Trump is the candidate for 2024, that would be the stupidest thing that they can do.
Yeah,
absolutely. They need to keep using him for what he is. He's there for a distraction. Just a distraction, and to keep them on their toes and to piss them off and to make them mad, and get somebody else in there. As a person who likes Donald Trump and liked him, I don't think he should be the candidate in 2024. If I'm trying to think of it as a chess match, and that would be a stupid chess move. I think that would be a stupid move. Keep him what he's good at. And I
think there's a lot of factors. There's a lot of factors, right? I listened to, let me just finish this real quick.
Go ahead. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
There's not a lot more to this. Cheney is going to campaign for Democrats in Republican races that are running Republican MAGA candidates or populist, America First policy candidates. So she's going to campaign on behalf of Democrats in those races. Surprising absolutely nobody. This is the rhino of rhinos. Liz Cheney is absolutely a Democrat. She should just change her party affiliation. Nobody gives a shit. All of Wyoming voted her out, and nobody is at all intimidated by this. So that said, I've been listening quite a bit to Scott Adams. I listen to him in the morning, and we talk about similar stories, or he has great perspectives on things. And he is by no means a Trump advocate, supporter, or advocate. And I will really say I'm not either, although I did like a lot of things that happened during the Trump presidency. But I personally voted for him in order to break stuff, and he didn't break enough stuff. He should have fired people, and he should have broke things, and he didn't fire people or break things. But he had good net foreign policy, and he didn't get us into any more wars. So that's good stuff for me. And I can tell that he has a lot of bluster and bravado, but he's also a good negotiator. He is a good negotiator. He gets deals. For how many years have we had like conflict in the Middle East, and Donald Trump negotiated the Abraham Accords, to which many countries in the Middle East like signed on to basically normalize relations with Israel. That's good stuff. That creates stability in a contentious area. So that's good stuff. So with that said, Scott Adams is making the argument that this election should be a one-issue election. And then see what you think about this. And the one issue that Scott Adams cares about, it's not the border, even though we talk about the border quite a bit here. It's not Ukraine. It's not economy. The one issue that Scott Adams says that we need to focus on for this election is fentanyl. Apparently, fentanyl is killing it's the number one killer of Americans between 18 and 45. Did you know that? I had no idea.
It doesn't. You're not.
Hold on. Go with me.
You're fighting against a mountain. There's no way that you're going to win, that anyone is going to win this fight. Okay? You're fighting against a pharmaceutical company, and most of the fentanyl, yes, there is an epidemic of illegal fentanyl coming through, and a lot of it
I don't know how much you know about it, because I don't know very much.
I know a little bit because we had a couple of kids die from fentanyl overdoses around here several years ago, and it was a big freaking deal. And I read the news every single day for like 3 decades now on the air, so I'm privy to every piece of information normally. Yeah, I know a little bit about fentanyl, but I also know that there's places around here. I don't know if you have them in Texas, but there's places around here, and they're called pain management centers. Do you have pain management centers?
Never heard of it.
Okay.
I never heard of it. But that doesn't mean we don't. I just never heard of it.
Okay. Well, around here, we have these. They're called the Pain Management Center. You can look it up, the Pain Management Center, Paducah, Kentucky, and you will find that it is staffed by a couple of doctors. 9 times out of 10, they're foreign doctors. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying I'm making an observation. 9 times out of the 10, they're foreign.
Yeah.
9.99 times out of 10, they're foreign doctors.
Okay.
So what they do is pain management. What do you think that would entail? Managing pain. Okay. Yeah. Managing pain. A lot of people are in pain. So you go there for your pain management. It is a legal drug dealer. My mom, who was in a lot of pain for several years before she died, she went to the pain management center, and she was getting, I don't know the names of pills. Purposefully in my life, I have stayed away from medicine because I have seen how
avoid it as much as you can.
Yes, I have seen my family members die from prescription medicines that have been given to them by abusing and from doctors. And that's what these people are in this pain management center. They're 2 doctors, legal doctors. I would wheel my mom in there. We would sit in the waiting room for 2 or 3 minutes, and they would call her name. She would wheel in. I could count to 60, and she would wheel back out. And that first time that it happened, I was like, was it not your turn? She's like, no, I'm done. I'm like, you're done? I thought this was a doctor's appointment. It's not a doctor's appointment, JJ. She wheels in. The person goes, name, yes, you're here. Here's your 30 pills. You can wheel away. It's a legal drug dealer. They were given, my mom had to have the stuff she was taking that crap. I don't know the name of it, but it's the stuff that's like the pharmaceutical morphine, or the stuff that they give heroin addicts or whatever, that real powerful pain medication. I don't know the name of that crap. I don't know. But she was taking that mess. You're muted still, by the way, if you don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay, that's cool. So that's Scott Adams may be right, but you're fighting.
Okay, so listen to this argument. Now, this is not the only argument, but this is an argument, and it's worth considering. Fentanyl, as you know, is incredibly potent, and like an amount the size you can hold in your hand can kill your entire city.
Yeah.
So I have a story. I'm not going to pull these up. I'm just going to say in 2021, Fox News ran a story that said that 79,000 people in the U.S. died between 18 and 45 years old, which is twice the amount of. Oh, that's between 20 and 21. Okay, so between 20 and 21, it was 79,000. CNN says that this year, 109,000 Americans have died. More than died of COVID, died of fentanyl overdose. So it's super lethal. It is super concentrated. It is, and you can't stop it by stopping smuggling because it takes so little to get all that you need into the country, right? It takes so little. So the only way to stop fentanyl and stop American deaths is to go to who's making it or the precursors and stop them. So the way that fentanyl gets into the US is that cartels in Mexico manufacture it and bring it in, and also China makes that shit and sends it over here. So
you're not going to stop that. Yeah.
So if you can't stop,
you're not going to stop those. You're not going to stop it.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you can stop it. How? So this is not my idea, but I like this idea.
Okay.
The way that you stop something like this is that you have a sit down with the cartel and you say, "Hey, cartel, we noticed that you're doing this fentanyl stuff, and I know you're into this drug trade. I know that's your thing." But here's the thing. You're killing so many Americans that this is not really a drug war. This is just war. So we're going to declare this a weapon of mass destruction, and we're going to fucking kill you all. We're going to kill all of you, your moms, your sisters, your brothers, your kids, your cousins, your city, everything will be destroyed. Or get out of this business right now. Stop the fentanyl stuff, or we kill all of you. And not because it's drugs, but because you're deploying a weapon of mass destruction against the United States. To be able to negotiate like that, you can negotiate like that, but to be able to do that, you have to be able to.
Is that a negotiation at that point?
That is a negotiation.
Are you sure?
That is a negotiation because it's like, look, cartel, for 50 years, we've let you do whatever you want. We've done the normal combating you stuff. We're catching your guys and we're kicking them back to your country. But, that's just a drug war. But for fentanyl, which is potentially a weapon of mass destruction, then we need to treat it like a war, which means that, if you're not going to stop this, then we're obligated to just take over the parts of Mexico that you have. And we're just going to seize it, and we're going to kill you and everybody involved. And that should be the negotiation. And then from there, you can work down to maybe we just get out of this business.
But I see what you're saying, and I don't disagree with it entirely.
But you can only do that if you can be a credible threat. And do you know who's not a credible threat?
You can only do that if who?
Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and Nancy Pelosi and anybody else.
That's not, is it really a credible threat from anybody? Because if the Mexican cartel is doing this and you do that and you say, well, we're going to attack you, and they're like, well, screw you, we're not stopping. Do you go into Mexico and actually attack them and threaten international discord and the Mexican government getting pissed off, and then all these other people siding with the Mexican government because the USA is a bunch of fucking bullies? It just goes around and does this because the media will definitely spin it a certain way, and you don't think the Mexican is going to make it that the white US man has gone in and attacked the brown man and is
100,000 Americans. 100,000 Americans this year.
I'm just being the devil's advocate here.
Twice as much as last year. And if it's doubling every year, how many people have to die every year before we do something?
I'm just saying, if I was a Mexican, I'm just saying, I know I've read about some of the things that those Mexican cartel people do. And if the United States came up to me and said, hey, stop this, stop your money making thing, or we're going to bomb you, I'd be like, kiss my asshole. you know?
I'm sure they would. The Mexican government either is complicit with the cartels in that they work for the cartels, or completely inadequate and completely incapable of managing them.
What? Well, yes and yes.
So
You're
what does it
you're
matter if
correct
we pissed
on
off the
both
Mexican
ways.
government? So what's that matter? Who cares?
What do you? There's a lot more to just moving that chess piece. You've got to like look at the 20 freaking moves that chess piece will cause a ripple in the water. So if you
For
do,
sure.
I mean, that's easy to sit here and say. It's easy to say, but you can't just do it because you're
I'm
going
not
to
saying it's
piss
easy
off
to say. I'm
everybody.
saying who is going to solve this problem? Because the current administration is not going to solve this problem.
Well,
And
no.
Republicans are going to do anything either, because for the last 30 years they've been held in a drug war or whatever. They haven't made any progress.
No, do you know why? Think about it. Use your brain for a second. Why have they not made any progress in the drug war? Because it makes money. That's why that's why I've always heard why they never wanted marijuana to be legalized there for a long time, was because the law enforcement offices around the country get a buttload of money specifically earmarked from the government to combat marijuana, to fight marijuana in your community. So if marijuana is made legal, they lose all that extra money. So the law enforcement doesn't. So it's the same principle. The government doesn't want that crap legalized because they make money off of it. The drug war, they make money off the drug war. You don't think they're making money off this abortion crap that's going on right now in this?
For sure
they're making tons.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Scott Adams is not advocating for President Trump. He's saying make this issue, make this election a one issue thing. If you can make enough people a one issue voter, because we're literally at 49 and a half, right? The margin of victory is so slim. All you have to move is like 1 million votes in the US.
I don't want to just make the election a one issue thing. That's dumb. There's a lot of freaking shit going on, and we shouldn't just hang on.
Sure, but we've been doing it the other way forever. And what happens? We have establishment reelecting itself every year and not doing anything. Control of government has been taken out of the hands of citizens and put into the hands of establishment, where they are keeping it. They change the rules to make sure they keep themselves in play. They put in artificial divides like race or whatever to keep people divided, so that the establishment can continue to control that 5% of the vote that makes the difference, right? And then they can stay in the establishment can reassert itself. Scott Adams' plan is to say, look, that's not working. It's not been working for so long. So what do we need to do? If the government will not return control of the country to the people, and is going to actively change rules and make things so that they just continue reelecting establishment, then it becomes incumbent upon citizens to do something to reassert control of our government. And his plan is just...
I thought they tried to do that back in January somewhere.
So his plan is to say, look, the only way we can move the needle is to concentrate American people into one issue, and then move them on one issue, and then get the two parties to fight over that one issue and endorse a candidate and make a decision based on who makes the best policy for that issue. So
I don't like that, though, because he might agree with me 1,000% on that issue and not agree with me on 70% of the other issues.
But the thing is, you can do it. You can do that one issue at a time. What we've been doing is all issues every election forever, and we get nowhere. We make no advances. Or there's tick-tocking of policy. Donald Trump puts in policies for 4 years, and what happens on day one of the Biden administration? Turn off the gas, turn off the economy.
Forever. And I'm not saying it should still stay that way, but it's been that way forever.
What's the old saying? Do the same thing every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definition of insanity.
I don't disagree with him is that something needs to change. I just don't like that way.
It is off-putting, but stew on it. Think about it. It's not about having only one issue. It's about leveraging the power of one issue to take control back from the establishment and make them do their jobs, because they won't, because they're all bad people.
Let me tell you how
you got to beat them over the stick with one issue at a time.
You don't need that crap with Scott. You want me to tell you how to fix it real easy?
Sure, tell me.
3-term limits. You get 3 terms, and that's it.
So you're talking about making a change to the parameters of the choice. So in game theory, you have strategies based on options available to you and the parameters of the environment. And our current strategies are there's no term limits for offices, and there's these other parameters. You're talking about making a change to the environment, and that'll fix it. Except that humans are devious, and they will just go new environment, new rules, and they will fall
course.
into they will
Of
find a
course
new
that's going to
dominant
happen.
strategy.
But that's
That's
also
what
something
happens.
about humans is that we are able to adapt to our environment. So when we change something for the better, and then
Yes.
also another thing about humans, there will be humans that are assholes and devious and find a way around the change. They're always
Yes.
that's a constant. So
That is the
that is going to
reliable.
happen. Yes, that is reliable. That someone will always screw the system, and they will find it. So once that happens, we have to be humans and adapt. So if we do change the system and be like, look, you got 3-term limits, and then so that happens, and then what you said happens, well, also the pharmaceutical companies and all this lobbyists realize that they do not have the leverage that they used to. So now
Well,
they have to change their game on how
yes.
they get the leverage.
Yes.
They start influencing younger, or not younger, and
But
on a more local level, because these are the people that are coming up in the next 2 or 3
I
years.
could tell you,
We have to. I mean, it's a huge moving
yes.
the chess pieces.
Yeah. But I can tell you right now, introducing term limits sounds like, oh, that would get these bad people out. And I can tell you right now what the end result of that is. It's that career bureaucrats become in control of the government, and there's no accountability because politicians will come in and out and they can't get anything done. But bureaucrats that are unnamed and unelected hold office, and they're like, well, these are the
We can't get
politicians always
anything
do.
done now, and we've got son of a bitches that's been in there since the 19 freaking 50s, and we can't get anything done.
I understand
How
the
long has Nancy
advocacy for
Pelosi
term
been
limits,
in
but
charge alone?
yeah,
Nancy
she
and
has.
Mitch.
She's
How
awful.
long has Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell been in charge collectively and in politics collectively?
Yes, that's right. They have.
It's bullshit.
And it's not good.
And Mitch is from my freaking
Yeah. Hey, he's one of them. He's one of them, the uniparty. They're all about the center. They're all about themselves. So I understand the I'm going to say superficial, but it's not superficial. But I understand the appeal of term limits because you think, oh, that'll get the bad people out. But I don't think it solves the problem. It just creates new circumstances. And here's the thing: under these new circumstances, I would be a devious enough person to create a new strategy where I win in those circumstances, and I make sure I always win.
I'm not going to
And
say
that's exactly. You would just get a new dominant strategy.
I'm not saying that you're devious. That's not the right word to
Oh,
use for
but I
you.
am.
No,
I am.
you have that brain that is you will figure out the strategy in order to get the maximum output. I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah. Or well, I
You're
could say in
not that
some
type of
cases,
person.
in some cases I've looked down the road of like, because you're at a moment where you're like, oh, I have to make a choice here, and like people are vying for different things, and I can look down the road. I can see obviously where this path is going to go. You're going to rest this control and that control and this control, and then and I'm like, I'm just not going to allow any of those things to happen. So I do these other things, and you're like, JJ's an asshole. He's a total dick. F this guy, and I'm like, yeah, I am. And I also stopped what you're going to deny would never happen until it did, because it does.
But the people,
yeah.
I've noticed that the kids and the people that say that over the years about you are the ones that there were going to be assholes anyway, despite what you did. And so you nipped it in the bud, and it was almost always the right decision. And you're just like, I don't give a crap. Because they'll be talking shit about you.
Don't like it, leave.
I would defend you in there and whatnot. And at one point,
okay.
I was just like, JJ really doesn't care. So as long as they don't get personal or go over a certain line of decency that me and you both have.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna let them talk shit about him because I don't.
Yeah, I really am, and that especially in those regards, I really am like a free speech absolutist, right? Like pretty much. I mean, like there's obviously some lines where like you're talking about kids, you're talking about children, you're talking about stuff that's not appropriate. So you don't cross those lines. And some of the things we're talking about here are the Discord channel or whatever, because that's kind of a large community that I kind of auto moderate. But if you don't cross
A
some certain
large
lines,
community. I
if
think
you
it was
don't,
like how many thousand?
yeah,
13,
it's
14?
some thousands. So if you don't cross certain lines, and those lines don't include personal insults to me. Like you can literally just call me names stuff, but if like basically, I don't care. Now there are some occasions where people were like super belligerent and causing a real problem in terms of like, you know, causing other people to violate, the rules, the little rules there are. But as long as you don't, as long as you don't cross that line, I was always just like okay with it. But then there were other things where there were like people wanting power and control and to be able to dictate new policies. Dumb people want to make more rules so that they can control things. That's the way it is. Stupid people think that they can come up with these great rules and create a new system, and then like, oh, then now they've got it. And the reality is, all you do is create new conditions, and then miscreants and
That want
troublesome
to.
people will be like, oh, I got a new path to be annoying but not
Some
violate the
men
rules,
want to
and it's
watch
just
the world
yeah.
burn.
So, rather than play whack-a-mole with that stuff, I am more like, just be polite. That was my rule. And then it give me carte blanche to be like, you got to be polite.
I'm
So
not that type
anyway,
of person. I'm
yeah,
the type as you can probably tell, things get
yeah,
on my nerves sometimes,
yeah.
and I
Well,
mouth
look,
off.
don't think things don't get on my nerves. They certainly do. But,
I have definitely mouthed off several times in there and kicked people and
all
been
right.
like, "You know what? I'm done. You're gone."
So, Deacon, it's been a
We
good
got a lot
morning.
more. Yeah, we got a lot more
We
stories, but we
attacked
got
space
stuff
rocks.
on,
We created a robot voice for James Earl Jones. We
and I got
didn't
mad.
even talk about Joe Biden and him
Sure.
talking about his when he was 30 and she was 12. We didn't even mention that, so we
God.
don't need to. I'm sure it's not as bad as you think. I mean, 30 and 12. I was 30, she was 12. It couldn't have been that bad. We didn't talk about Joe Biden's ballistics. His AR-15s are like 5 times faster than any other guns. We didn't talk
Gross.
about that.
Gross.
And we didn't talk about Biden, making it easier to get jobs for border crossers. Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow. But it's time for us to go. I got to go feed my kids, get ready to go to school. I got some graves to go piss on, so let's go do this. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you haven't already, please hit like, subscribe. Please share our show. We are so grateful that you show up every morning, 6:30 in the morning, Monday through Friday, to watch our show. And also,
Also, what,
tell your
JJ?
friend.
You gonna call me a name?
Tell,
Huh? You gonna
tell
call
your
me
mom.
a name? Is that what you're?
Tell your moms to watch our show.
That's right.
I'm not going to call you a name. I don't like name calling. I really don't.
Okay.
Although, I don't know if you've noticed in the past, but occasionally the kids get into a like insult throwing contest with me on the server, and when it happens, I'm like, oh, this will be fun, and then I win.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right.
All right.
That's all this morning. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Be back tomorrow. It'll be great. It's the best show ever tomorrow. It's scheduled. It's
Right.
ready to go.
That's right.